بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
Okay, the next thing we'll try to understand one more concept in the Puppet. There is something called Puppet module. Now, Puppet module is a collection of files and the directories. Probably those are referred as Puppet module. A collection of files and directory means your configuration files. So if you remember in the previous topic we have seen, there is something called config files where you're going to define a set of commands which are being pushed to the nodes. And again, we have something called class definitions, which are again defined inside the configuration files or inside the manifest. Now, what exactly module? Now, if you take a simple example, like normally this is your Puppet master, and this Puppet master is going to manage or configure multiple nodes, means it is going to control multiple nodes or agents, let's say, because they do have an agent software. You can say nodes or agents. And these agents can be different vendors, like it can be a Cisco specific vendors, or you might also have some devices which are non-Cisco, as well as even the Puppet is also used for managing your virtual machines inside the server. Now, the server has to be installed. Now, this server has to be installed with some kind of information about what is the provider, or we can say what is the vendor. And in that vendor, let's say here we are saying Cisco specific. In that vendor, what is the type? Again, in that you have many security devices and you have routing switching devices, switching device, or you can say it can be a firewall, what type of device it is, or we can say what type of vendor it is. And again, if you take an example of it's a router, again, what is the operating system? Because within the Cisco, you have Cisco operating system, normal iOS, and you have iOS XE, and you have XR, you have NXOS used in Nexus. This is in ASR routers, and in other routers you'll find this iOS. So the command line and the configuration hierarchy will be different for each and every platform. So basically, each set of configurations, let's say here I'm using a router, and the vendor is Cisco, and that is your router, and then the router is an iOS running iOS XE operating system. Now this is whatever the configuration files relevant to this can be defined as a specific module. Okay, so this is going to give a skill that the Puppet can understand and talk to the nodes, whether it is what type of device it is, whether it is a router or switch, or what vendor it is, and what is the operating system it is running. So these are like collectively referred as something called module. Again, the Puppet have many modules available for different vendors and the different types of devices. Like I said, one example here, the Cisco module, which is specific to Cisco operating system. In that, again, you may have some kind of subcategories. And then just like SQL have its own separate module for configuring the SQL devices. These are some of the examples here. And these modules can be reused and shared between the multiple users, probably, we can say that way. And there will be some kind of predefined, if you go to the Puppet website, on the Puppet website, you will find a specific community. If I just go here, you can see these are the URLs I already opened here. Now here you'll find some predefined Puppets, like normally there are some users who create their own files, or the config files or the modules will be uploaded here. If I just search with a specific Cisco here, I can find this is like a Cisco Puppet, which is for configuring the NXOS devices. And if I click on open it here, I have that in the next tab here, and you can find some information over there. So this specific module description, if you click on this, you'll find the description of the module. This is specifically to allow the network engineers to manage the NXOS that is running on Cisco Nexus platforms by using a Puppet. And of course, you see the configurations, what are the specific commands are used or scripts used, and these are kind of sample examples. Now, probably you see they here the people are going to upload their own manifest or the code shared here. This is one example, and the second one, again, there is one more example on Cisco iOS. I think this is specific to managing your Cisco Catalyst switches or Cisco Catalyst devices running with iOS and iOS XE. And you can see the description here. This is going to allow you to configure those devices, like how the configuration goes. And I think it is more specific to creating a SSH and telnet sessions to this device. Okay, so probably what we can do is we can use this kind of modules. We can edit them in our network, and we can modify according to our requirements. So this is what we call as Puppet Forge. Puppet Forge, where the people upload their own manifest or the codes, the configuration files, and we can use them. Even we can upload our own manifest files over there as well.